Here we take a look at Jake doing backstroke. He's got a pretty good setup right now with how his feet are. He's got that staggered start going on. Since we're not using one of our touch pads to be able to have that non-slip surface, that's a very good idea to do. As you get into using touch pads for meets, make sure you're looking at pretty much keeping those feet right on the same line. Anymore, the touch pads actually have that ability to eliminate a lot of the slippage off those pads, so you can actually set both your toes right underneath the surface. That way you're going to be able to get the best launch possible and get your body out of the water and get back into the water as quick as possible with the most amount of power possible. So we'll get you moving forward here. I would like to see you actually think about trying to push off a little bit more with those legs first. You're actually kind of letting go and throwing your back into it before really kind of pushing through with your legs. Some of that has to do with not having that starting block, so I'm not too worried about it. But you really want to think about pushing with those legs first and then getting your upper body to react afterwards. You're getting that head back nicely, but we do want to make sure that those hips get up towards the ceiling there, so then you can actually get your body up and out of the water. A lot of times what I'd like to do as a former backstroker and a coach now is, if you've got touch pads that you know you've slipped off of during warm-ups, it's just flat out grabbing that gutter. That'll give you that ability to get up and out of the water without having to worry about slipping, since you're not pulling yourself up as high. So we'll get you going a little bit faster here and see how your stroke looks on top of the water. Utilizing not so much of that dolphin kick, but a little bit more your freestyle kick. I think with what you've got out of a dolphin kick, you're going to end up being able to utilize that a little bit more. As I move you forward a little bit more here, we're going to be able to see what your feet are doing. I know I mentioned to you early in the week about really kind of sitting on your ankles so that we can increase that ankle flexibility. I can tell right now we've got kind of a stiff shin right there into that ankle. You don't have a lot of flexibility there to really give that good snap at the end of the kick. So make sure you're spending some time sitting on your ankles, stretching those out, so that you can get a lot more out of that kick down here, whether you're doing a dolphin kick, whether you're doing a freestyle kick. As we look at that arm pull underneath the water right up top, I would like to see that elbow right here. Try and stay out in front of your head a little bit more, getting that high elbow catch similar to what you would on freestyle, only now it's kind of off to the side of your body. Decent breakout, breaking out with that head just a little high. Your head up here tends to ride just a little bit high, so make sure you're keeping that chin back. Tuck up nicely on that on that turn, sorry. What I would like to see you do is actually try and again utilize that dolphin kick a little bit more, so that instead of breaking out right in probably underneath the flags right there, because as we look at the lane rope right here, you're breaking out right where the flag should be. So we want to see you actually try and get your body all the way past those flags, so then you actually can utilize a little bit more power and you're not wearing out your arms nearly as much. Good straight arms on that recovery. We are seeing a bit of a bent knee right there on that kick. So with that ankle flexibility, that's going to help you with keeping those legs nice and straight and long, and being able to get a lot of power out of that kick by just getting a little more snap to the end of it. As we come down to the finish here, kind of see that you're slowing down a little bit. Make sure you're maintaining that speed. That way you know where the flags are, and then you're actually able, instead of finishing kind of on your back there, you're going to be able to finish on that side a little bit more. But very nice job on that backstroke, Jake. Keep it up.
Here we have Jake's underwater backstroke camera angle. Doing pretty good. Got a strong kick going on. Big thing what I'd like to see you actually do is utilize that dolphin kick a little bit more underneath the water. The other thing I see is that you're coming up at a pretty steep angle. Make sure you're balancing out by not going nearly as deep off the start. That'll help make it so that you're not having to spend nearly as long underneath the water as we get up into that breakout. Right now what we should see is pretty much a straight line going from your elbow to your shoulder to your other shoulder, and then extending up. Right now you have this arm down there, so we're a little bit behind on where that stroke is, not to mention your straight up body line is kind of in an awkward position. But that is right after the breakout, but it's still one of those things where we'd like to see that at a little bit more of a straighter line. Move you forward just a little bit more so we can see how things are going. You've got a ton of air right there. Make sure you're really working on getting that extension right when that arm enters there, but as you extend on freestyle, the extension on backstroke is kind of down in this angle to then push straight back behind you. So make sure get that extension on freestyle by grabbing a little bit deeper, and that'll help you get rid of all that air we're noticing right there. As we get going, you've got a good solid kick. The one thing I know I've mentioned to you several times is about that ankle flexibility. Make sure you're taking the time to sit on those ankles so that you can actually get a much stronger kick. You're kicking with kind of a bent leg almost the entire time, so we want to make sure that you do have that opportunity to stretch out those legs and really get more flexion out of that ankle. If we look at the angle in your foot right now, we've got that angle. The big thing we'd want to see is at least going straight down into that angle, if not going from here and then dropping down a little bit. So that's where that ankle flexibility would help you out just a little bit more. When you get that ankle flexibility in there, you're going to be able to straighten out those legs, kick with a nice straight leg and a lot longer leg, which is going to help that body position all together. Very nice job on backstroke, Jake.